Hey, welcome back. With the cold rolling in and fall pretty much in full swing now, figs are pretty much done. So I've been taking the organza bags off of the figs, and yeah, I don't think they're going to be ripening anymore. But that just means that it's time for the next thing, and that's right here. It's quince. These are a fruit that looks kind of like an apple. They're in the rose family, just like apples are. And they have an interesting perfume to them. So how to tell if they're ripe? Kind of get up there and smell it. If the fuzz rubs off of it, that's another good sign. Like this one right here, see this looks very green, but the fuzz is rubbing off of it, so it's close. Probably not done. These ones over here maybe a little bit further along. So I'm probably gonna pick a few, give them a shot. They make delicious desserts, so you can, let me get out of the sun here. The deal with the quince is that they need to be cooked before you can eat them. So I see a lot of dishes with baking. I like to just kind of poach them and then eat them like that. So like cut them up, put a little bit of sugar in there, put them in a pot, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of water, and then cook them for boil them for I guess simmer. Yeah, bring it to a boil, simmer for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Not too long. And they kind of melt down into a mush, or they get a lot softer depending on how long you boil them. But they are really delicious. They have an interesting taste. I haven't tasted them again this year, so it's hard to remember, but it's kind of like a combination of like a peach, apricot, maybe a little bit of a pear in there. They're really good. Very underutilized. The other cool thing about these is that they have lots of pectin in them, so they'll jam themselves. And there's a recipe to make like a really thick, almost like they call it like a cheese, but it's not really cheese. It's just really thick, like fruit leather. I made that last year. That came out really good. So let's see. This variety is Aromanaya. It's a Russian variety. It does really well here in the Northwest. I normally see no problems on the leaves. It's a little bit of damage on the fruit, but not too much. Not nearly the same amount of damage as my apples, much lower. And I actually have a second variety over here called Orange. It's back here. Another great variety, although that one takes a lot more leaf damage, and the fruit is good, but not quite as large. So Aromanaya makes the largest fruit. It's early. It has basically no leaf damage at all. Yeah, see, look at this one. Big difference, right? This has some kind of rust on it, which is messing with a lot of the leaves. These look pretty close, a little bit green. So the deal with these is that they don't ripen here completely. They're originally from Turkey. They won't ripen here completely, but as soon as they get yellow, you can pick them, and they will ripen. They will get more ripe as they sit on the countertop, and then you can just cook them as you want. Yeah, this spring was pretty rough on this one. We had that cold, wet spring. It made some fruit, but oh yeah, they're a lot larger than they were. Last year it made tons of them, and almost all of them were much smaller than this. So it kind of thinned itself this year, and we ended up with a smaller number of larger fruit, which is pretty good. I like both of them. They both taste good. I think I like Aromanaya a little bit better. Definitely as far as disease tolerance goes, Ripeness easily wins. I don't really know what this is. But it doesn't seem to happen every year. It seems to happen when we have really wet springs. So I'll see what happens next year. It doesn't look like the tree overall sustained too much damage. And it looks like it grew out of it a little bit. I don't know. A lot of my trees actually this year took a lot of damage. The cherry tree in the back had a similar problem where it had like tons of leaves that were hit real hard. It actually dropped a lot of them. So yeah, I think this might need another week. Some of them might be worth picking. And yeah, if you have the chance to grow this, I would suggest, like the woman from Park Rose Permaculture said, just do one, because they really do yield pretty heavily. Especially, like I've let this one get away from me a little bit, but they yield a lot per tree. A surprising number of fruit per tree. Here's my black Spanish fig. None of these are gonna ripen, unfortunately. They got close though. I think next year the plan for this guy is to cut it back and graft something else that's more likely to ripen, because basically every time this gets close in September, we get the rains that roll in and then they all split like this, which is unfortunate. So yeah, anyway, lots of new things to pick in the food forest. And I think I may actually trim back this quince this year, this Aramania, and graft it onto the other one, orange, that I just showed you, because I like this one a lot. Yeah, these ones are good. And it's kind of like, it's getting to be a bit of a larger bush. Like all these uprights will end up getting cut off over the winter anyway, so might as well use them for something. All right, hope your fall is going well. Everybody's picking lots of fruit. I'll talk to you later.